What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video.
Today we'll be going over week 15, and then we're going to go talk about what's going on with the kickers, and then week 16 predictions. And let's get it.
Alright, jumping right into it. Let's go right into the Giants game. Obviously, end of the season. Playoff hopes are over. Marcus Mariota had definitely didn't really have an impact, but the Titans going into the game definitely had a better game plan, especially with the weather being rainy and everything. They only attempted 20 passes the whole game, and they pretty much were just feeding Derrick Henry the ball, and the Giants just couldn't tackle him. I mean, Derrick Henry had 33 touches with 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. Can't really stop the guy when he's that big.
He's playing great football.
Yeah, he's definitely coming off that week with Jaguars with a 99-yard rush and everything. He's just on fire right now, and like I said, Mariota only touched the ball or threw the ball 20 times and completed it 12 times with only 88 yards passing. So I mean, it was obvious what the Titans were trying to do there. So
what about the Giants? What happened there?
I don't think the plays were consistent enough. They only gave Saquon the ball about, I think, 14 times. So I feel like we were focused too much on airing the ball out. And
yeah, you can't allow man in that kind of weather they're playing and have 44 passes and throw as many times as they did.
Yeah, and it really showed on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
I mean, they put up the goose egg, first time in a while for them, but you know.
So I actually have some stats for you guys from the game I thought you'd be interested in. So the stats were Marcus Mariota went 12 for 20 of 88 yards, which is very pedestrian in NFL standards. I mean, that's not even good. That's like backup level.
Yeah, that's mediocre.
And Derrick Henry actually had 33 carries in that game because of the weather and how it was affecting the game. And he had
won the game.
And he won the game. The Titans were prepared for this game. It felt to me like watching it and looking at the tape and the stats that the Giants just came to this game unprepared. They were expecting a high-flying matchup for some reason, even though Mariota really isn't known for that passing attack. Shootout type.
So, like how the Giants used to have shootouts with Drew Brees and Eli Manning. I mean, it's not going to be that
high-scoring games.
No. And so they only gave the ball to Saquon 14 times for 31 yards, which is terrible. Over 4 quarters of a game, you'd never expect to see Saquon, who is the rookie of the year, most likely, get 31 yards. Now, I will give the receiving some credit. Evan Ingram had 8 receptions for 75 yards. No touchdowns, but still, that's pretty good in the weather conditions they played in.
Yep.
It's hard because you know that the Titans, they're looking for that playoff spot.
Yeah. I mean, both were, but...
Yeah. Giants, though,
it was a long
reach,
shot.
but the Vikings getting the last
that
those
first
wins,
part of the season,
it's hard because they have that tie. That's going to give them the benefit of the doubt there. So all they really have to do is win one more game and they're in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Titans, they're battling for that playoff spot. AFC still, they had to go to the Giants game thinking about all these things like, okay, we have to dive in, we have to win against the Giants. We can win against the Giants with 2 more games, we have a chance to make the playoffs, and that's what they're playing towards.
Yeah, they're hungry.
Their ultimate goal right now.
Up there.
Their ultimate goal right now, I think, is probably to play the Patriots because they already played the Patriots and they played pretty well against the Patriots.
I don't know how long ago it's been, but the Titans, they haven't reached that. They haven't been in the playoff picture in quite some time.
I think they have.
Last year
they were in the playoffs, but like they haven't made
a
big effort in the playoffs because get the Patriots, you got to play them always, and they're always in the Super Bowl. So
yeah, it's really annoying. Frustrating.
Yeah.
But just a little closer on that game. I mean, prediction for the rest of the Giants season. I'm just gonna say it as a Giants fan. I know I really shouldn't be saying this, but I hope they tank the rest of the season. I mean, we really have to focus on the draft and getting the best pick possible. And seeing that the playoff hopes are over, I think we have to focus on next year. So
yeah, I would agree with that. I remember being a Bears fan last year and kind of hoping for us to get a higher pick to get those special players. I mean, really, in reality, the Giants are only about 1 to 2 players away from that good push. I mean, we saw their late season push this season. They have the ability.
They have the playmakers. They just need to have the structure.
They need 1 or 2 more players that are even average at best to just push them towards that playoff next year.
Yep. We're going to the Saints-Panthers game.
Yep.
That I really don't want to talk about, but we're going to anyways.
Pretty boring game, let me tell you.
Really boring.
Honestly, though, the game itself, I enjoyed watching just because it was kind of interesting, but it was bad. Again, Monday night, you expect maybe like a good game, but like you watch it 12-9. You know,
Most random score.
First off,
Weird.
Random scoring. Why 12-9, 12 points? That never really happens often. I mean,
And then a
9, 2
pick
field goals,
two.
but it wasn't. Yeah, a pick 2. Drew Brees was at pick 2 late in the game, which I mean they were winning, but like that hurts. Like obviously, because then field goal ties the game at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Cam Newton, dude, stop playing right now. Do something. I don't know what you're doing. Neither quarterbacks had the greatest game. I think Cam Newton 130 some yards passing. Christian McCaffrey had that one touchdown pass in that game. Didn't even come from Cam Newton. And I just want to say defenses that game. The Saints defense, even though Cam had a bad game, played pretty well. I think
Pretty well.
with Eli Apple used to be a Giant. Picked him up this year. Played a great game. That late pick in the end zone.
And the first half.
Yeah, it was great. It totally killed the Panthers' momentum, and the great thing about that was the scores that came from the Panthers. Pick from Drew Brees, pick 2 points. Okay, Christian McCaffrey had a trick play to Manhurts, 50 yards. That's it. Otherwise, the other scores, nothing. Cam Newton didn't have effect, and it was just a trick play and a pick 2 that Drew Brees pretty much had to throw. What are you gonna do? You never expect him to take it all the way back.
Yeah,
No.
to be honest, looking at that game from a Giants perspective, it looked like a first half Giants football team, or football game. Sorry, the Giants. I mean, in the beginning of the year, didn't put up many points. I mean, as a Giants fan, it was boring to watch a lot of the time because it would just be punt after punt after punt, maybe a turnover in there. But I mean, that's how I felt during the whole season. So,
It
I
hurt.
mean,
Panthers turned
obviously
the ball
after the
over a
bye,
lot.
yeah. But
And going off of that game was the epitome of 1960s football. Good
Pretty
defense, good defenses.
And it's not even like the weather was bad.
No,
it was
the
like,
weather
it
was
played
fine.
Played in Carolina. Another thing about that, Carolina 5-1 at home. They've won most of their games at home. And going into the Monday night, going into Carolina Stadium, it's another atmosphere. Playing away is hard for anybody, especially Drew Brees. Drew Brees, I mean, even though he had an okay game, throwing over 200 yards, but like still not the greatest. He didn't have any touchdown passes. It was rough.
Pick.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Well, a
fault.
pick was it was a bounced off someone and they caught it. But it helps the Saints though to get that win because the Rams lost, puts them at number 1 in the NFC, puts them 1 in the NFL basically, and at 12-2, and they're playing for that home field advantage. Now the Saints, they play really well at home. I think if they get that home field advantage against in the NFC Championship, they have a straight shot to the Super Bowl.
yeah, it's going to be hard to stop them in the dome. I mean,
Yeah.
Going off of that, I believe the Saints actually have the past few weeks. I've seen in the NFL these high-powered offenses start to really slow
Shut
down.
down.
Though it's really starting to worry me. The Rams, they did not look impressive against the Eagles. Their defense has the great front line. Their DBs started to give away a little bit, and we saw that in the Eagles game because Alshon Jeffrey absolutely torched them. I mean, he was a massive player in that game, but the Saints also kind of showed that last. I mean, Cam Newton is not a quarterback you want leading you into the fourth quarter, especially not when he's injured. And I know you can debate me on that,
I don't
but
know how injured he really is.
so I just don't think this Carolina Panthers team was ready for the playoffs. So it's actually
It's true.
a good thing that they're not, because that would just be a kind of easy win game for a team, because the Panthers just are not playing well right now to be in the playoffs.
6 straight, man.
6 straight, exactly. A
Six
team
straight
that
losses.
loses 6 straight should
And,
not be in the playoffs.
I mean, they were all close games, though. You gotta give them that. But you
yeah.
just can't pull that fourth quarter. Can't
No.
have that.
And Drew Brees, I think last night lost the last Monday night lost the MVP off of that game. I'm not
It's a
gonna lie.
possibility. I don't know. It's hard to say that so far.
With how well Patrick Mahomes is playing.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's
true.
going to be tough. If Drew Brees threw 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns that game, he's still in the race.
Yeah.
But Patrick Mahomes is on pace for 53 touchdowns. That's insane.
Yeah,
Plus
that's
almost
good.
5,000 yards or 4,500 or
I
something.
don't know. You
like
wonder what's going on though, because those all again with the offenses, like you just said. I
Bogging
don't know.
down.
Are they trying to save something for the playoffs? Because both the Rams Saints know that they're in the playoffs. They clinched the playoff berth and they clinched their divisions. So You wonder if like the coach is like Sean Payton, he's like not throwing all he's got at him, giving him like normal plays and like not putting any really big trick plays out there.
Pretty much.
But just getting more people reps, getting. And what else hurt that game? Max Unger. Losing Max Unger was a huge effect because like it was. If it wasn't like having him hurt, we had to put some new one in. We had to put a new guy in there, snapping centers. I literally saw some film where he missed just blocks. He literally just missed blocks. And it hurt because even though Drew Brees is the most protected quarterback in the league, he got sacked quite a few times last night, and it hurts. It hurts them when that happens because that's not a part of their offense.
Well, yeah, and on Monday Night Football, Jason Witten actually said that Max Unger actually IDs the mics for Drew Brees. So he identifies the mic linebacker.
He controls the line.
He controls the line.
Yep.
So when you lose Max Unger, you're basically losing your captain, your offensive line. I mean, you saw it. I mean, after that, they just kind of dug down and they just couldn't get out.
Still happy though. They got the win. We're looking to next week home, Pittsburgh Steelers. So
that's gonna be a tough game.
It's gonna be a rough game, but we'll see what happens.
Let's jump over to the big game. Your Bears pulled out the win against the old Cheeseheads over there.
Oh my goodness, what a game! I have to say, as a Bears fan, I've never been happier more in my life. It's been 8 long years since I have even felt something close to this, and I gotta say, Aaron Rodgers played terrible. He played absolutely terrible. I mean, his stats are nothing eye-popping. 25 for 42, 274, no touchdowns. The first time Aaron Rodgers has been held to no touchdowns against the Bears since I think 2013 or 2015. And he threw 1 pick. No touchdowns.
Yeah, that was his first pick.
First pick in 403 pass attempts.
Wow.
So he's only thrown 3 on the season, I believe, now, and 2 of those have gone to the Bears.
That's awesome.
So, anyways, and then I have to give credit to the Packers. Their rushing game was actually pretty impressive. Jamal Williams, 12 carries, 55 yards, unlimited carries, but he was averaging 4.6 yards per carry with a touchdown included. Aaron Rodgers, he always has that rushing ability, that scramble ability. He had 3 for 25 for an 8.3 average.
Okay.
Aaron Jones, who is now injured with a knee injury again because of the Bears game, only got 4 carries, 8 yards. So the Bears did a really good job
not a lot of
overall. Devontae Adams was good again.
Do you think the Packers' struggle in that game correlates with their new coach at all?
I don't think so. I mean, I believe there is possibly some,
I mean, it is a struggling Packers team with Mike McCarthy.
With Mike McCarthy, yes.
But do you think this transition midway through the season is affecting their play?
I really don't think so, because they looked about the same during the Arizona game. I mean, you lost to Arizona. They are arguably one of the worst teams in the NFL.
They are.
And they are the worst team.
Next to the Bills.
Next to the Bills.
Maybe the Bills.
Those have been playing
or the Jets.
Lately.
I hate the Jets.
The Jets are up there.
They're not doing too bad. There's not really a many bad teams in the league this year. They're all up and coming.
Are bad.
But what I was going to say is, I have to say, Aaron Rodgers does not look like Aaron Rodgers this season. It's not even been close. If you watch the
way people talk him up too, I can't.
It annoys the crap out of me.
Let's not get into that.
Well,
oh my goodness.
This Bears game, if you go back and watch the tape, he was missing the throws you expected to make. The deep shot, wide open receivers running seams.
So he was looking like Eli.
He was looking like Eli. Aaron Rodgers next to Eli with a little more mobility.
Eli's got some wheels. He's got a couple touchdowns.
Sure
He's got a couple touchdowns.
But we really
love you, Eli.
We really got to talk about the Bears defense here. They were dominant again.
Yeah.
Khalil Mack had a sack with his back, and it's being named the Mack Sackback. So I don't even know how that man does it, but he literally just put his rear end.
Man.
He just put his rear end right into the Aaron Rodgers and just sat him down. I don't even know how he does it, but it's impressive.
I don't like Aaron Rodgers, so.
I don't think many people do.
I mean,
I don't think many people do. So, Mitch Trubisky was very impressive. 20 of 28, 235, 2 touchdowns. He actually outplayed Aaron Rodgers by almost 60 points in the QBR rankings. So, I was really impressed with this win. And not only that, but it gives me pride to be a Bears fan again. Because it was a long...
Gives you hope.
It gives me hope. It made me... I felt like I was in a dark hole for so long, and finally this team shows up with the great defense, and it reminds me of the 85 Bears again. Like, that great nostalgic feeling to the city of Chicago, and that's to the fans. They deserve it.
Kickers this year. What's going on? They have not performed to what you would expect kickers to do. They are literally they score the most points on the team. They're the highest point getter in the NFL.
I mean, that's their job.
Their job is to make
You
field
have
goals.
one job.
And literally, you look at all of these kickers here in the NFL, and like you look at the best, like Matt Prater. I mean, he's missed 4 field goals. I mean, yeah, they're all coming. 2 of them are coming from 40 and 49, but in the past, a 40 and 49 field goal is almost like, okay, he should get this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You're planning. You're already putting the 3 on the board. You're already
okay,
putting
3 points. There you go.
But
You got people like Mason Crosby. I mean, he right here is said to be with most field goals made. He's made 34 field goals. Or no, he's made 27, but he's attempted 34. That's 7 missed field goals.
yeah.
That's insane.
And even extra points this year.
and
I
even
mean,
extra points. I mean, it's not even like the new rule. You know the new rule, how they have to.
That's been around for almost 3 years
Yeah,
now.
it's been around for so long, but now they're missing these extra points.
I mean, we saw it last year was better. Last year was a
Yeah.
lot better for kickers, but the year before that, when they first put the rule in, it had the same feeling.
yeah.
The kickers were missing the kicks they should be making, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
I mean, here's a message to you kickers, okay? You guys have a lot of weight on the team. You might be called kicker, but you know what? You guys do a lot for the team, and we rely on you, so make sure you're kicking better this year. That's a message from me to the kickers, all right? Cody Parkey, I'm looking at you.
I mean, I'm doing fine. Eldrick Rosas, Pro Bowler, only missed
Yeah.
1 all season. I mean, he's shut down. I mean, lights out. So
Is he?
I don't know about
very
you
impressive.
guys.
He's
but,
only missed 1 extra point, missed 1 field goal.
yeah.
Same with Will Lutz, 1 extra point, 1 field goal.
I mean, we're not worrying.
I'm
but
fine. Our kickers are fine.
Casey, you're sweating over there.
Yeah, I don't know how our kicker can do in the playoffs, so I'm a little nervous if it comes down to a clutch kick. But hey, he's great at onside kicks.
It's ruined some games. For
Look at the Browns early in the season. I
Zane
mean,
Gonzalez.
yeah, Gonzalez
What
missed how many
did you
field
do?
goals? And just
4.
who were they playing? The Browns.
They were
That
playing
game.
the Steelers. Their division rival.
No, the game after that.
Oh, the game after that?
I don't remember, but I swear I was watching that game, and he missed 4 in a row, and it was in overtime, and he could
I
have
think that
easily
was
won
the
it.
Steelers game.
Oh,
I really
yeah,
do.
yeah.
Because that was the first game of the season.
It happened also when if you play the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Cody
I don't know
Parkey,
what's going
how many
on
he missed?
there.
3 or was it 3 or 4?
It was 4
He
off
didn't
the
miss.
upright.
He hit
off the upright,
upright,
which is harder than actually making it through the goalpost.
I remember watching that game and I go, okay, wait a minute. You're telling me you can hit an upright 4 times, which is
Was
like
it in
that
Chicago
big?
or was
it was in Detroit?
Oh, in the stadium
In
too.
the
Yeah,
stadium.
and it
Was
was
What
in
are
the
we
upright.
talking
conditions.
about?
Crazy.
Green Bay game, Mason Crosby,
Mason
the
Crosby.
Lions. He missed a ton of field goals too. They lost because of it, basically.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
happened.
And not only that, I think it's something with the Lions turf. I really do.
You think so?
Well,
I don't know.
I
Matt
mean,
Prater, he did
The
all right.
kickers
he's
have done
missed some.
so. I mean, it has to be.
Hey, when
they have to be feeling something
even in the
different.
preseason, I went to the Giants-Lions game in the preseason, and Matt Prater lined up to go, probably 35 maybe yards, and I turned to my friend that I was with, and I said, "Easy make."
He's a go.
Yeah, he's literally the best kicker in the league. All of a sudden, he shanks it, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know anything about football." So, I mean, it's crazy, guys. It really is.
Yeah, that's kickers this year for you.
Yeah.
Kickers this year,
It happens.
you're on notice. So jumping into our final section here, we're jumping into our early week game predictions, and we will have another video coming up very soon, probably Saturday, going in depth on those videos
And why we think that.
and those games.
All right, week 16 games. We got Giants, Colts, Saints, Steelers, Bears, 49ers. Starting off, like I said earlier in the video, Colts are going to take this one. I was going to make the drive to Indianapolis and watch the game, but just don't think the Giants are going to come out with a fire anymore. I mean they're going to get reps, do their best, but I think the Colts got to give them their credit too. They're on a roll right now. They just shut out the Cowboys, so there's no way.
True. I have to go with Colts as well. They're playing pretty well lately. I think they'll probably make the they'll make the playoffs.
Whoa.
Don't
Hold
want
your
to
horses
look
there.
at that far, but they're playing well. So I have to take the Colts in that game too.
I'm gonna go ahead and actually take the Giants. I think the Giants make a big rebound on this game. They feel ashamed, and I think they actually play a little angry. So I'm taking the Giants.
Cool.
That playoff race, man, it's gonna be like the Titans game. I feel like though.
Yeah.
I understand it, but
You want the Giants to come out and hit.
well,
You want
I
them
think
hard.
the Giants.
I like
just,
it.
Okay.
I just think the Giants are gonna come out angry. I really
Okay.
do. That Titans
that
game
is
was an
Pat.
embarrassment.
That's true.
That is Pat's
Maybe have a
Shermer's
A little bit of a
mentality right
revenge,
now. So.
revenge game.
All right,
Saints,
Saints Steelers. Sorry, Austin. I think the Steelers are going to come out on this one. I just have a gut feeling. I mean, they're already in the playoffs. It doesn't really matter unless obviously
both in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just hard for the
I
Steelers.
think- Since the Saints are playing at home, they want that home field advantage. They're gonna want to win after having a couple rough weeks. I think with higher competition comes higher player from the players. I think the Saints will pull this one out. It's gonna be a great game to watch. I think it'll be a little more high scoring than the last game.
I think they'll feed Kamara
I think
a
they're
lot
gonna
more.
feed
If
Kamara,
they find Michael
Get him
Thomas,
involved.
yeah, I mean you can't go wrong. Big Ben and Antonio
It's gonna be
Brown
fun- it's
and
gonna
then
be a
Drew
fun game.
Brees and
It's
Michael
gonna be a fun
Thomas.
game.
So.
Yeah. I feel as though the Steelers can actually win this game. The Steelers, for some reason, always play well
Late season,
against great opponents. I
Yeah.
mean, they really turn up the heat. I do expect this to be kind of a shootout game,
Yep.
not really a ground and pound. So I'm going to take away carries from Kamara, and I'm going to give them throws to Drew Brees. Give the throws to Drew Brees to make. Because Big Ben is known for his shootout ability. I mean, when he gets into a shootout game, I mean, he can normally put up the points. I mean, you have Antonio Brown on the outside, and you should have Le'Veon Bell, but I mean, he's being agreed.
James Conner.
Yeah, you got James Conner if he comes back.
Yeah, he's
But no, in a shootout game, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Steelers. They always pull on a pretty good win against good teams.
Bears,
No.
Niners.
Bears, Niners.
I'm just going to say it, club dub. I mean, 49ers, sorry. I mean, I don't even know who your quarterback is right
a
now.
good win though.
That is true, but not the Bears defense.
No, I know.
Not the Bears defense. I don't
You
even
know,
know
is
who
it-
the Niners quarterback is. So,
Nick Mullins, I believe,
oh yeah,
undrafted.
yep, yeah. The Giants beat him. So I mean, Bears can do it.
Bears.
Bears.
Duh, Bears.
I'm going with the Bears. 49ers have looked like an utter train wreck this season. They obviously are missing Jimmy Garoppolo, who they paid a ton of money and
Yeah.
traded for. Nick Mullins has done a pretty good job, actually, though, stepping
As
in.
an undrafted. Yeah.
Undrafted, I mean, that's really, really hard circumstances, especially with a team that is underperforming
Yeah.
without their quarterback.
Especially in San Francisco.
It's hard to come in.
They're used to winning over
they're
there.
used to winning. And their defense also has been kind of underperforming, even with picking up Richard Sherman.
Yeah, he is old. But
He's old, but I mean, you still expect a little bit more. So, I take Bears in this game.
Got
Welcome to Club Dub.
The Bears.
club dub, baby.
All right, guys, that's all we have for you today.
Make sure you comment and like.
Comment, subscribe to our channel.
Check out our other videos.
Check out our videos we just put up. Make sure you stay tuned for Saturday. Having a video another coming out.
Peace out,
Peace.
boys.